ng new project name. ng new project name.
New Angular example 4. Enter. Would you like to have an Angular routing? Say yes. And take the CS file. Now you see a new project will be created. Okay. Ishwar Ranjit Gona Venu. Please unmute
Yes, sir.
all of you. Please unmute. I want you to talk. What is output decorator? What is input decorator? Can anyone talk about it? Meanwhile,
From child to parent, we are using input.
We can pass the data.
Child output.
okay. Anything
One
else?
component to another component. We need to pass.
One
using
component
input.
and another component, we are using both of them.
Yeah.
But when the parent the decorator we need to use. I want to transfer data from parent to child. What decorator we need to use?
Input.
Input decorator.
What I want to pass data from child to parent. What decorator I need to use?
Output.
Output decorator.
Output
Is output decorator is
along with
enough?
event emitter.
Yeah, output decorator along with event emitter. Okay, without event editor, you can't able to get that. Because in your parent component, you need to associate the event, not the project, right? Say sir.
Yeah.
So that is how event emitter will be comes into picture. Let it be installed. This one I don't like it. Why this is coming? Packages are installing. It's taking so much time to install, right? Done. Now what do you need to do? Close folder, file, open folder. Oh, sorry. close folder. To take this URL. Open folder. Now you got the project, say yes or no? You got the project or not? Everybody.
Yes.
Now go to terminal. What is the command to build the project?
NGS. Yes, sir.
ng serve open. Building is going on. Now you got the Angular application, say yes or no? Everybody?
Yes.
Ishwar?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, I want to remove everything here. So simply go here in my SRC, go to my app, just go app component.html. I'm deleting the entire structure. Okay, then you go back. Empty UI is coming. Here, let me first make a border of parent component. So how to do the border of parent component is, I'm going to use a div. Okay, here I'm going to say h1 parent component. Listen carefully. I want to make this div is a gray color. So how to apply CSS for this div? Div display flex width 80%, margin 0 pixel auto, border 2 pixel, solid written. Now you got the border?
Yes.
Say yes or no? And then background color gray. You got the gray color? Say yes or no?
Yeah.
And then by default, text color. Sorry, you can have color white smooth. You got the point? Now,
Yes, sir.
what is the parent component? It is an h1 tag, right? So here, h1 text align center. Why it is not going?
Align item center. Text, not
No,
text.
no, text align only. Here you can have align item center. But here it should be text align only. with 80%. Okay, fine. You got something like this. Okay. Now you got the parent component. In that, I want to build a child component. Listen carefully. I want to build a child component. So to create child component, what is the command we require? Right now, it doesn't have any child component, right? Whether app has have any child component? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Do you have any child component? Unmute and
No.
talk, please.
No, sir.
So what is the command?
ng generate component name.
ng generate component child. When you use ng generate component, there are 4 statements has been implemented and component has been created. Now, I want to bring that component here. Saying div app-child component. Child works. Say sir.
Yes, sir.
You have parent component, you have child component. Hold on a second. Hello.
Yes, sir. We got child.
No. Here. Hello. Okay. Now you got the child component, but the child component is not coming down. The reason behind is in the CSS, you have a one more property called flex direction. Flex direction is column. Got it? Got it? Say yes or no.
Yeah.
If you make row, what will happen? It will be in the same row. If you make column, it will be in the next subsequent column. Okay, and then you have to say padding minimum 20 pixel. Now you got a gap. Say yes or no. Say yes
Yes,
or no.
sir. Yeah.
So you got the parent component, you got the child component. Everything is perfect. Now what I want to do is in the child component, I want to get the result. I'm saying in the child component, go to child component. Here I'm going to have a div. Okay. Here I'm going to have h1 tag saying that child component. I have a child component. You got the child component, say yes or no.
Yeah.
And then I have one more called paragraph lorem 25 tab. Now you got the child component with the data. Say yes or no. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Everybody says yes or no. Instead, you can have one more. I'm going to write a method. I'm going to remove this. Okay. In the child component. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a logic of button. Okay. I'm going to write a logic in such a way that to increment value. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have a counter variable of number equal to 0. And then increment counter method this dot counter plus plus. Hear my point? Say yes or no.
Yeah.
I created an increment counter method. Okay. Now what I want to do is In the parent, I need to call this increment counter. The parent, I want to call this increment counter method. Okay, for that, what I'm going to do, in the app component.ts file, listen carefully, this is most important. That is why I'm going very slow here. In the app component.ts file, what I'm planning to do, I'm going to use a Viewchild decorator. What decorator I'm going to use? Viewchild. Are you seeing a decorator name called Viewchild?
Yes.
This Viewchild decorator I'm going to use here at Viewchild of. Okay, and then I say child component question mark colon element ref. One second. Let's see now. Class lo ఉన్నాను class అయిపోయింది. Okay. Now you tell me what is the component child component name we need to provide here. Because this view child will denote to the child component name or not. Now you see here, it is waiting for an argument. Say yes or no.
Yes.
So where that argument comes from? What is the argument it has been? What is the argument name?
Selector, I think. Selector not provided.
No. You have to use the child component class. What is the child component class? This name. Understand?
Okay.
This name you need to pass in the app component. Okay, when you are passing this name, what do you need to write here? You need to import the child component here.
Yes, sir.
Import child component. Now, you see the view child is getting or not? Come on,
Yes.
guys, you have to say yes or no.
Yes.
If you are using a child component, where the element reference is also a child component. This is how you are accessing the child component information in your parent component. Are you got my point? Venu Ranjit?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, the
But-
point here is you created a child component with the increment method, right? And you are also having a method called child component HTML. In the app component, you need to access this child component. For that, you are using a decorator called. Can anyone read this? Can anyone read this? Can anyone read this description, please?
Property decorator that configures a view query. The change later looks for
First
the
on the directive
first
matching
element.
of selector in the view of the DOM. What is DOM? Document model structure. Now, in the parent component, I'm creating a button. Listen carefully, I'm creating a button saying that increment counter. Okay. In this button, I need to associate an event or not. So for that, increment, I'm using a method increment child counter. there this dot child component property dot, you see both method and variable is accessing.
Yes.
Yes or no? Both method and variable is accessing or not?
Yes.
Both method and variable is accessing.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Why? Why I'm accessing? On what basis I'm accessing?
We are using Viewchild decorator here.
By creating an object for the child component with the help of what decorator?
Viewchild.
I'm creating an object for the child component with the help of what decorator?
View
What
child.
is the decorator? View child decorator. Have you got my point? Now, here, I'm calling a method increment counter. So I'm not doing anything. And then go back to the HTML. Here, I'm saying paragraph. The counter value is okay. What is the counter value? The variable you declared in the child component. What is the variable? Counter. And paste. Now go to your application. You see what is the value of counter and the counter value is what? What is the counter value? What is the initial value of counter? Ranjit,
0.
please unmute and talk.
0, 0,
Click on
sir.
enter. Okay, this button need to be accessed, right? So now what you need to do? The app component, take this method, go to your app component HTML. Here, you have to associate a click method. Okay. Now, when you click on increment counter, value is incrementing.
Yes.
Where the logic is been implemented? In your parent or child? Yes or no?
Mm,
Where you are implementing?
Inside child.
Inside child, you are writing a logic, but
Logic,
you are
but
accessing
declare
from
in
your parent,
parent.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you understand what is the purpose of view child?
Yes, sir. Like
Understand,
input.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me reiterate you. See, I have child component, I have child component file. Okay. In the child component, what I did, I declared a variable called counter. And then I declared a method called increment counter. Clear my point? Ranjit,
Yeah.
I am going to access this method, invoke this increment counter method from my parent component. In which component I'm going to call this method? In which component I'm calling this method?
Child.
Child.
Parent.
Parent. Okay.
So here you are saying you are implementing a decorator called Viewchild. Right? You don't need element reference right now. I'm removing. Okay. I'm implementing a Viewchild decorator. To access the Viewchild decorator, you need to pass the component name. What is your component name?
Child component.
Child component. So that you are getting
Child.
an entire reference of the child component or not? Are you getting a reference of child component or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That child component internally calls a what component? Increment counter method. This child component object calling the increment counter method. It's similar to our .NET. You have a program.cs file, you have a child class. Okay. Where you will create object for the child class, program.cs file, or you are going to create an object for a child class? Say yes or no. See, if you are not understanding, let me know. See, this is your parent component. Okay, listen carefully. And this is your child component. Okay, here you have a increment method. What method you are having? Increment method. Right? Am I right with this?
Yeah.
Okay, now here I'm having a parent component with having a button. Okay, and then here you are also having a method increment child. Increment child method. Okay, when you click on a button, what will happen? The button is calling this increment child, which internally calls this increment method. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
How to access this increment method in your parent component?
Using Viewchild.
Using
Viewchild.
using
Viewchild and child object.
Viewchild decorator. Understand?
Hmm.
Understand or not?
Yes.
Yes,
Without a
sir.
Viewchild
Yeah.
decorator, can I access the element here? But
No.
if you look into this, you are predominantly looking for only the data, not for the view, right? When
Yes.
you want to increment counter and everything, you are passing data only. But for the data, you already have an input property and output property. Then why do we need a view child? You don't need a view child, right? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Do we need a view child property here? Come on,
No.
think and speak. Topic is bit complicated, but you need to understand when to go for view child. Come on, you need to speak. Say yes or no.
Can you please repeat the question, sir?
Now, my question is, when I click on increment, it automatically in counting, right? Without
Yes.
using a view child, can I use input property or output property to call this method, right? Is it possible, right?
Yeah, it's possible.
Then why do I need this functionality? This is not a good practice. To handle the view child component is basically with respect to DOM element. Or you
Okay.
got my point? So that what I'm planning to do, I'm planning to do a small thing. I'll tell you what. For the button, click event of parent, I'm going to use hash btn inc. I'm giving a reference name. Okay, I'm giving a reference name. This reference will change the text of the button increment counter. Or you got my point? With the help of what? Go to app-component.ts, add view child. I say, what is the name of the button we created?
Increment.
Hmm? What is the name of button we created?
Increment. Increment child.
btn ref colon slash btn ref question mark colon. Here, I'm going to use element ref. The element ref, what is the component I'm going to use is HTML button. I want a button element to get the reference of the child. So how I'm going to do? I take this reference. I'm naming the reference. Okay, so I'm going to use this. Now, can I access only button here? Say yes or no. Can I access only button here or not? Yes or no, ma?
Yes. Wait.
And then here, this dot btn reference dot native element dot style native element. This dot native element. Native element is current element. Okay. So before making that native element, since I'm using a view child, there is a one more hook. What is after view init hook? What is the purpose of after view init hook? Here, I'm going to say after view init hook. In the app component, implement after view init. So when you have after view init, you need to have a ng after view init. Say yes or no?
Yeah.
Ng after view init. If this dot btn reference dot native element is checking the element is native, then this dot btn reference dot native element dot inner html equal to child counter. Now you see child counter is changed on the reference. Say
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what is the name of the button I had? I had increment counter, but here what name it is changed?
Child counter.
How I defined that view child? With the help of what component? View child of button. You understand?
Yeah.
Ishwar,
Yes, sir.
you understand, right? So do you all
Yeah.
understand what is the purpose of view child?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the definition of view child now? Can you tell me what is the definition of view child? Come on, you have to speak. What is view child? What is view child decorator? Can anyone tell me?
Uh, it will access the
It will
components and
access the child
components
component
and elements.
properties in the parent component elements, child component elements in the parent component. Child component element in the parent component. Okay. To handle entire functionality without affecting the code in the child component. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? See, assume here you have only one parent component. Suppose if you have two parent component, what will happen? This will be parent 1 and this will be parent 2. So this parent may call that view child, and even this parent also call a view child or not. This area is common. This is common for you. But Venu can access the child component in his own structure. At the same time, Ishwar can access the component for its own structure. Am I right or wrong? So that is the reason people are going for Viewchild component. You understand? In real time, what type of scenario the Viewchild will be comes into picture? Ranjit. Ranjit, you are in mute. Ranjit. Understand? Venu?
Yes, sir. Understand.
So now the last one is ContentChild. Now I'm creating another component. Let me go back to my parent component. I'm removing entire stuff. Okay. Listen carefully. I'm removing this. Okay. Even I'm removing the increment counter. Time being I'm removing. Go to my parent component. I'm removing this code also. And go up. I'm removing this also. First, I want to project the content from parent component to child component. What is the code I need to write, ma? Can anyone tell? See, you have a parent component with the button. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Click. Now, if you go to the UI, you got a click button parent component, right? Now, I'm going to create another node, another component. Child 2. Now, component is created. Okay. Okay. Now the component is created. Okay. In the component created, what I'm planning is I'm going to have child component. Sorry, it will be 2. So component created, say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now what I want to do here, I want to project the content from here to child component. So what I need to do here, h1 child content. Here I'm going to have a paragraph tab. What content I need to do? Lorem 10 tab. Now you see the content is coming here.
No.
Why? We already discussed. Why? Say yes or no. Why? Think and tell me. What is content projection? What is content projection? Hello? What is content projection? If you want to project a content from parent component to child component, in the child component to HTML, you have to use ng content. Do you remember we discussed? Say content is projected. Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So this is called content projection. Where you are writing this content? Where you are writing this content?
L2.
Parent or child?
Child.
No.
Parent.
You write the content in app component. App component is your parent or child component?
Parent.
Parent component. But the same content is projected in your child component. How we are doing? This is called content projection. Am I right? Say sir.
Yes, sir.
అర్థమైందా లేదా?
లేదు సార్, ఇది అర్థం కాలేదు. నో.
Ranjit, Ishwar, can anyone explain?
Actually, we declared in parent component, right, sir?
Come again?
సో యాక్చువల్గా పేరెంట్ కాంపోనెంట్లో డిక్లేర్ చేశాం కదా, ఈ ఎన్జీ కంటెంట్ ఏమి ఇవ్వలేదు, సో ఎలా డిస్ప్లే అయింది?
మా ఎన్జీ కంటెంట్ ప్రొజెక్షన్ కాన్సెప్ట్ లో చెప్పాను కదమ్మా.
ఇది అర్థమైంది సార్. అదే
ఆ?
ఇది అర్థమైంది సార్, బట్
కాన్సెప్ట్ లో చెప్పానా లేదా?
చెప్పారు సార్.
ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తానంటే, ఈ ప్రొజెక్ట్ అయిన కంటెంట్ కు కలర్ అప్లై చేయాలి. ఈ పారాగ్రాఫ్ స్టైల్స్ మార్చాలి. సో నేను ఏం చేస్తానంటే సింపుల్ లాజిక్.
యువర్ వాయిస్ ఈస్ టూ లో సార్.
ఓకే, I made a projection content in the child component.
Yes, sir.
Here, I'm going to have a div. Okay, I say h2 child component, and then I'm making this ng content. Okay, now go back. You got the child component, child content, and everything. Fine. I made the projection. Now what I want to do, I'm going to build a logic of this child content projection. Here, you go to your app component HTML, you say hash para link. Okay, I'm going to create a hash para link. This projection, I'm going to get content projected. Okay, I'm going to say para link, and then this you are going to call from the child component. Here I say content child. You got the content child? Here I say at content child of what is the content child here? You're going to take the para link. And then I'm saying paragraph ref question mark equal to element ref. I'm referring the element of paragraph. Understand my point? I am taking the paragraph element, and then here I'm going to say content after content in it. And here I'm going to implement after content in it. And here I'm going to say ng after content in it. Console dot log this dot pararef. Listen carefully. Right click, inspect element, go to console, refresh. You see the element is referred by native element is paragraph. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You got the element reference of native element is paragraph because
Yes, sir.
I referred only the paragraph element. It got all the context. Now I want to change the color of the content. I want to change the color of this content. So what I'm going to do here, I simply say constant content equal to this dot parent ref dot native element, and then content dot, and then content dot and then content dot style, content dot style dot font color equal to red. Color is changed to red color, ma? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir. Change to red.
Can I make it as blue? Something like blue? Or we can make it as yellow. You got the yellow color? Now I can add content dot style dot font weight equal to 600. Font weight is changed. Say yes or no? Ranjit, Ishwar.
Yes, sir.
This is how you need to project the content. Now you understand? You got the native element and you need to apply the CSS color for the content. That is how content projection will be happen. Now you understand why do we need a content child? Why do we need a view child? Ranjit, Ishwar, Venugopal. Ranjit, Ishwar, Venugopal. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is called view child and content child. You understand my point? There are two decorators we discussed. See, let me reiterate it. See, in the app component, I want to pass the content from parent to child. So for that, what I did, I built the content in the parent component under the child component tab. To project this content, what you need to do? In the child component HTML, ng content you have to refer. Am I right? This is called as content projection. And then I want to take the paragraph tag alone, apply some CSS color. For that, in the child component, you declared a variable type called content child. In that content child, that reference of the div element, paragraph element will be treated as an element. Can anyone read this? Can anyone read this? Can anyone read this?
Permitting
What is this speaking?
a wrapper around a native element inside of a view. An element ref is blocked by a render specific element in the browser. This is usually a DOM element.
Understand?
Yeah.
Within a DOM, you are identifying the paragraph. And after identifying the paragraph, you are going to use a how to project this content with the help of ng after content in it. There you are going to apply. Have you got my point?
Yeah.
So this is how child component works. Any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir. We'll go through the recording if any.
Come again?
We'll go through the recording if get
Fine.
any doubts, we will.
That's all for today. Tomorrow we go for few property bindings and then we can go for the other concepts. Okay?
Okay, thank you,
you.
sir.
Have a great day. Bye.
Mm.